Hi guys, Andrew from BMG Productions Australia here. Just thought I'd show you a video of a list that I'm thinking of bringing to an upcoming tournament. So this is in the city. It's 350 points, $1,500 in funding, and I thought I'd just walk you through the crew, show you a bit of the models for the upcoming tournament. That's not Commissioner Gordon, by the way. It's a detective. I can't afford a Commissioner Gordon in this list. But yeah, let's get started. So first of all, my boss, which is a sidekick. I always take sidekicks. I really don't like taking Batman, just because I think for his cost, let's open this card, he's a bit pricey, but he's really good. I just like sidekicks more because you get more heroes. So, Nightwing. For those of you who don't know, he is one of the best sidekicks in the Batman crew, mainly because of his personal traits and the amount of hurt that he can do in one round of combat. Mainly it's stun damage, but this is how Batman crew works. You know, they're not going to do a lot of bloods. That's why I brought Red Hood and Azrael for that sort of output. But he's mainly here as just putting in lots of stuns and debilitating any models or enemy models that I want to take down quickly. So first of all, let's go through his traits. The reason I really like him is because of the charismatic special rule. Now in this list, it doesn't really come into effect. Charismatic rule allows you to take one extra free agent than you normally would be allowed to. So I've got 2 free agents in this list. If I wanted to, if I could fit in the points, I'd probably take 3, but arguably I've got 2 of the better free agents in this list already, so taking another one would be a little bit overkill. My next favourite thing about it is that he's an acrobat. Now, for those who don't know, acrobat is a really good trait to have. Mainly found in the Batman crew. I have 3 acrobats, I think, already. Yeah, 3 acrobats in this list, which is really useful. Acrobats move 12, sprint 24, and ignore terrain penalties and stuff, which is really good. They also allow the dodge special rule, which is super effective. I faced a lot of shooty lists currently, and having the ability to dodge bullets is just perfect. I mean, it makes them waste their ammo and is so good. So I have 3 acrobats in this list, mainly Azrael and the Red Hood, and they're sort of my front runners, the guys that waste the enemy ammo and sort of just draw the fire. Another reason I like Nightwing is because of the back claw, so that gives me extra mobility, and it's really nice that he has 3 movement tokens and 3 special tokens should I choose, because it gives me the opportunity to back claw or run or back claw, that sort of combination, and it's really good for maneuverability around the table. That's something you really sort of need in Batman, especially in the early first 2 turns. It really helps to get yourself into position rather than using the sewers, which is sort of easy for your opponent to sit around and just wait for you to pop up. So yeah, I really like back claws in the crew, and I think unfortunately I can't buy one for Azrael, but if I could, I would, because it's so useful to have. Another thing that's really good about Nightwing is his combo with the electric baton. So combo as a trait means for every 2 attack dice, so if I put 2 counters into attack, I get a free extra attack. So when I'm usually in close combat, I usually put 4 into attack, which means that all in all, he gets 6 attacks, which is super good. It's really good. And then I usually put 2 into defense, or maybe 1 in defense, 1 special, depending on the situation. Now, that in combination with his weapon of the electric baton is incredibly useful. I mean, the handy special rule means he allows him to reroll failed hits, and the mechanic special rule makes him more reliable in wounding an opponent. The mechanic means that he wounds on a 3-up, so he's super useful. His willpower is quite decent for his points cost. I mean, I think realistically he's one of the better sidekick options to have as a boss in the Batman crew, so that's why I really like him. Anyways, that's enough on him. I mean, most of his tactics are pretty straightforward, you know. He's more maneuverable, gets around the board, sees his objectives, and takes down the big guys. I think my favorite game with him that I've had is when he did so much damage stun damage to Titan Joker that he just made him useless for most of the game. And then Agent O'Connell, the hero that Gotham doesn't deserve but he needs, he just finished him off with a taser to the nuts. So that's why I like the combo. You know, Law Crew's pretty good like that. Anyways, we'll move on to my next person down, Free Agent, Red Hood. You can get a close up on the model. It focuses. Yeah, he's a pretty sweet model. One of my favorite characters in the video game as well. I mean, he's a little bit angsty, but you know, what character doesn't have a good angsty story in Batman? All right, so again, he's an acrobat, has the back claw. Bulletproof vest is new, so it means he's a little bit harder to wound on 4-up with firearms instead of the usual 2. I really like his rate of fire. You do not want to get into short range with this guy because he will do a lot of damage. So I think you can sort of sense a theme in my list is sort of that we do high damage output and try and avoid taking damage. I mean, most of these guys just zoom about the board with their back claws, do damage, and retreat. That's sort of my play style with this crew. The takedown special rule is really good as well. That's really useful in, you know, taking down people. Only one special counter, and he does have six tokens all in all. So, you know, you can fire 2 shots, and or you can, you know, in close combat as well, take them down. If you get that lucky, hit, you might finish them off with coup de grace. And yeah, he's just a really reliable character. It's sort of, I don't know, he is a little expensive funding wise, but I think he's worth it all in all. I mean, his stats aren't amazing in melee, but you sort of have to take that with a grain of salt. You mainly want him to be either holding an objective or protecting a corner, I guess, or protecting a street, and then just shooting the heck out of someone. I mean, that's probably the best way to utilize him, is with that rate of fire. Don't move and shoot. Sort of get into range the turn before, even if they're in combat. Run away with one of your characters and then shoot, because he will take them down a peg or 2 in their effectiveness, you know. If all 4 of those hit and all 4 of those wounds, that's 4 bloods, 4 stuns, and you might get a knockdown if you're lucky. You know, that's a lot of damage for someone to deal with. So that's why I like him. He's very reliable, and yeah. Let's move on to Azrael. Now he is, I guess they're all sort of my favorite, but I particularly like Azrael as a model. You know, that sort of Templar feel, Order of Saint Dumas, and he was sort of one of the main characters I liked from one of the first Batman comics I read, which was Nightfall. Alright, this guy. So, while most of my guys in this crew, well, nearly all of them, do a lot of stun damage, this guy is the blood guy. He deals so much damage with his weapons in close combat. So, let's have a look at his stats. He's got 6 willpower, 3 movement, 4 attack, blah, blah, blah. You guys can see that. I don't need to read it out for you. However, this is a bipolar mental disorder. That's a blessing and a curse at times. So, on a 50-50 chance, heads or tails, I usually just do a 4-up on a dice roll. He either gains a willpower or loses a willpower. So, for his reputation and points-wise, funding, you know, he's relatively cheap, and he's relatively cheap with a reputation. So when he has 7 willpower points, that makes him brutal. He's just devastating in close combat. You know, his sword does 2 bloods. It's sharp, so it means rerolls to wound, and it's got the crit with fire, so you can set people alight. It's just amazing, really. And he's got night vision, which sort of helps with his shooting attack, which is not useless. It does 1 blood, you know, it's mechanical, and it's got a bit of range to it, and plus he's got night vision, so, you know, it's not useless. It is good doing, you know, with a lucky hit, depending on it. Mainly good at taking down henchmen, I guess. I mean, 1 blood's not going to do much to a hero, but, you know, it might. So he's useful. He's really useful in that sense. And devastating, you know. That's the guy you want to do the knockdowns with, and then you get one of the coppers to arrest him. That's sort of the combo I'm going for here, and it's worked so far in most of the games I've played. So that's why I like him. I mean, Fast as well, he gets to reroll any of the movement rolls as well. That's not a bad trait to have either. So he's good at moving around. He doesn't have a back claw, which is not the end of the world. I mean, for his points, he's pretty cheap and pretty good at what he does. So no complaints from me there. Would have been nice, but can't have everything. So that's why I like Azrael. And that's all my free agents and sidekicks slash bosses covered. Let's go into the henchmen. So with the Batman crew, they have access to the Law crew and one person's from SWAT. Everyone pretty much takes Slutty Cop, or Female Cop, who's her proper name, but OnePlus Productions calls her Slutty Cop due to her outrageous uniform. But, you know, whatever pays the bills through Gotham's Police Academy, I guess. So let's have a look. Okay. 4 willpower. Pretty standard. Pretty standard. Has the arrest special rule, 14 reputation points. Cheap as chips. Some people take multiples, I don't, because why give your opponent free victory points? Anyways, what do I use her for? Well, mainly it is objective camping. Usually she'll be sitting back there or following behind my heroes, trying to get there in time to arrest someone. And that's pretty much all she's good for. Not very good in combat, let's be honest. But if the chips are down, you may as well use her. Just mainly there as a cheap way of filling up reputation points while still being somewhat useful. And the arrest special rule is what sort of gets her over the line compared to other choices in the Batman crew. Now, let's have a look at O'Connell. He is by far the best police choice that I know of. I mean, some people like Agent Ron. These cards are hard to open on my desk one-handed. Bear with me. There we go. Most people like Agent Ron, but I like Agent O'Connell. As someone said, it's the hero that Gotham doesn't deserve, but Gotham needs. So, 5 willpower. Makes him really useful. Arrest and the Veteran special rule. So, Veteran allows him to move 2 tokens to another category when he activates, which is good. For his reputation points cost, that's really useful in a pinch. He's definitely the guy I keep close to Azrael to act as that arrester. He takes them out immediately, pretty much. Reach is useful for staying out of the combats, but still contributing. So that's what I sort of use him for. The taser's good. You can put 3 into attack. You know, maybe luckily might do 6 stuns, depending. You know, it's sort of good against Brutes and Joker Titan, who has like defense 2. Wounding is a little bit harder, but you know, it's better than nothing. So that's why I use him. He sort of follows Azrael. I usually have Red Hood and Nightwing lead the charge, with Azrael following, her camping, and O'Connell is usually with Azrael. And yeah, so we'll move on. Let's have a look at Bravo. So out of all the SWAT, Bravo I find probably the most cost effective for what he does. Now with Bravo, let's have a look. 5 willpower again, so that's pretty good. Pretty good. But where he comes into his own is with the shotgun. So I sort of use him as a run and gun person or my sewer creeper. It's a funny term, but that's literally what I've used him for the last couple of games. Is he pops out of a sewer, shoots someone after they've activated, of course, because you don't leave him to be slaughtered because of his defense stats aren't great. But he pops out 2 bloods and a stun, debilitating. It really is. He's got the Veteran special rule, which is again very handy, and Bulletproof Vest. So you know it's a little hard to wound with gunfire, but he is my sewer creeper. At 27 reputation, 300 funding, he is the guy from the SWAT team that will make the difference. I mean, Alpha is good. Echo I've sort of had a look at, and Delta I've had a look at, but I think this guy is pretty much the best thing for my crew. He sort of gets ahead. What I have done in this list is that I've given handcuffs. So I might actually give handcuffs to him so he can assist when he pops out of the sewers. You know, that's probably what he'll be good for in this tournament situation. But yeah, he's got 40 centimeters range, and the moving and fire doesn't really matter because he's got a shotgun, so it doesn't. The rate of fire doesn't drop below 1 anyway. His endurance stats are okay, not terrible, and he's got decent movement, special, and attack. So yeah, he's definitely the guy I have pop out of sewers or run behind corners and just blast an enemy and then retreat and softens them up for my my superheroes. That's sort of how I play this crew. These guys are just auxiliaries, and I think that's how you should play the Batman crew. Your henchmen are never really going to do much. You've got to make a hero heavy list. It's just the way the cookie crumbles with the Batman crew. Now, unfortunately, I haven't bought a detective because I am cheap and stingy like that sometimes. So I'm going to use Commissioner Gordon, and we're going to talk about having a detective. Now, I'll pull it up on the screen so you can see. Hopefully that's a good picture. As you can see, he's okay. 4 willpower, a little bit gross for his cost. Arrest and detective special rule, not too bad. Hidden, also not too bad. Someone suggested that he should be an early objective grabber. So my plot, I guess, is I'm going to take, for objectives, is take a, what am I taking? I'm taking a bat signal, ammo crate, and some riddles. Now, people groan when they hear riddles, but I like them. I mean, they're high risk, high reward. Sometimes they can be a waste of time. But if I've got fast moving guys with bat claws, I can probably get there pretty quickly. And this guy can help out as well. So, but he also has the arrest special rule, which means that I will have him if I give him handcuffs. Agent O'Connell has arrest, and so does the female cop. So that's 4 people with the arrest special rule, which is pretty helpful. It's going to be helpful. They should be around to help out my team superheroes take down the baddies. So yeah, that's my crew. What am I standing on? Hero Builders got me at 1350 points. I'm not sure what else. Oh, 1350 funding. So I'm not sure what else I could take that's legal, but that's my list so far. If you guys have any suggestions or comments, or maybe you want me to do another sort of tactics video perhaps on my other crews, or another crew that you want to hear, just let me know. This is all about what you guys want. I just want to show you guys maybe the types of videos that would come out if you guys were interested. This is just sort of a learning experience for myself and the other guys. I've got a few more guys coming on board. So far we've got Pan, who's been doing his fantastic dock board. We've got another person called Joe. He runs a mini war store out of Coogee, who it's also the local gaming club I play at. Yeah, we've got a great bunch of guys who are sort of helping me with this project. So it's all just sort of based on your feedback. So I'm hoping to get some comments on this video, some thoughts, some tips. Maybe you disagree with me. That's totally fine. Just let me know. I'm just doing this for you guys. All right, I'm going to sign off now, and hopefully I'll hear from you guys soon. Cheers.